On a related note, did you know that during World War II there was an American destroyer caught alone by a Japanese task force? Thinking they were effed, they just charged the task force, spooked the task force, and they retreated thinking it must have been a trap. Nice. And there it is. Africa has been liberated. It's entirely allied now. So with that, we can start thinking quite seriously about shifting you, but I'm going to change you into... probably at the bottom. Jungle infantry.
All in.
And you lot as well, jungle infantry. However, you will join that army.
Ready to move.
And we shall move you to there. Although I must admit I am sorely tempted to let you train. At least a little. You can train on the border, it's fine. Off you go. Sinking lots of little ships at the moment, which is good. This fleet should be good to go again, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and turn you back on. And you can start hunting down their ships again, which would be good. How are we doing for convoys? Have I lost any? Nope. Gained about 300 since I last checked. Probably from various capitulations. Like that of Venezuela. And we are definitely needing to buy in some more fuel. America! Let's get 10 ships worth. Right, how are we doing for modern tanks now? We have almost we have 1,000. Yeah, I think we're good to upgrade. So desert infantry, we're going to switch you to modern tank destroyers. Oh, you actually use more modern tank destroyers in one of these divisions. That's interesting. The armor also doesn't change. Soft attack goes down, hard attack goes down, defense goes up slightly, breakthrough goes up slightly, supply use goes down, fuel capacity goes up. That was for the desert, now for the shock troop. Same thing. Desert, shock, and then jungle. And then suddenly we lose 1,000. We have 100,000 guns. So who has a lot of manpower on our side? France? How are you doing for manpower? Not great. Brazil. Brazil has plenty, so I think I'm going to start lending Brazil some stuff. I'm going to send you 200 ships. I'm going to send you all of my old guns. All of my old artillery. It's going to take me a long time to do. Whoops. Okay, those last couple I don't want you to do. Not that one. Not that one.
Raiding party!
Oh, Uda. Enigmatic Rose, thank you very much for the Rose Raid. Welcome to the Raiders. Hello, hello, hello. You are just witnessing the very boring process of setting up Lend-Leases, and then the rather less boring process of invading the East Indies. No. Yes. Indonesia. The liberation of Indonesia, in fact. Brazil has just joined the war, so I'm just going to send them all of my old stuff. Because they, unlike most of my allies, actually have some manpower. It's weird. I really, 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 really wish there was a send all button. So what were you just playing? $65, 1, 7, 2, 129, 107. I've apparently been collecting guns for a while now. There's a lot of them. 101, 1, 81, 258. Stellaris, aha. Federations isn't out yet, is it? Pretty sure it isn't. Oops. 11, not 111. Okay, that should be all of them. Let's just double check that this is set to once for all of them. Because I don't want to be sending this monthly. Like that. Send. Accepted. And we're going to tank your economy for a bit, but you should be able to build it up again soon enough. Honestly, like the flavour of each kind of tier 0, 1, 2, 3 equipment buff, things like this should aggregate it all. Especially because in vanilla there is absolutely zero difference between different types of equipment. Like Japanese tier 1 guns are exactly the same as German tier 1 guns. Less of an issue in Road to 56 where there's actually different variants for different countries, depending on what you've invested in. For example, my infantry equipment has no hard attack at all. I rely on my tank destroyers for that. But in vanilla, yeah, there's no reason for it. Doing a charity multiplayer defeated the contingency in a 7-hour game. Must have been playing on very fast then. Contingency in 7 hours? So how much did you raise? Or is that still being calculated? Spawn 2300, haha. And did the galaxy actually rally against them, or were there some traitors? Alright, we are wasting industry again, so I think what I want to do is... I really want to set up better radar. But these fools don't have it. Plus I lost the Gibraltar radar. Well, let's go ahead and upgrade Malta. Let's upgrade Cyprus. Let's put one there for use against the Soviets when that war begins. Let's upgrade those radar. Keep us busy for a little bit. All players except for the Fallen Empires, everyone worked together and joined a federation. Don't think this could have been done without that. It was touch and go for a while. Those always make the most interesting games though. What the hell is going on here? That is an enormous army. I thought it was initially the Dutch as like 47 Dutch divisions. Where the devil have those come from?
Ready to move.
Are you... Oh, 96. So close. I want you to level up.
All in. All in.
97 superiority. Here we go. Go on then, Merton. You have my... Go. Actually, I do want to upgrade the secondaries. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Who's invading Spain? No one.
Listen up.
Who's invading Borneo, though? This guy! Need to eat and sleep now, have a good stream. Oh, I'm jealous. Haven't had proper dinner yet.
Ready to move.
I didn't get up until 5:30 this afternoon. I was very naughty. But then again, I didn't really go to bed until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. So I'm kind of going super hyper with just a massive Earl Grey overdose.
Orders. Move out.
Been up since 4 AM, it's now 7 PM. Ouch! Yeah, okay. That hurts.
Ready.
Long day for you. Short night for me.
Yes, sir.
The life of a streamer.
Attention. Move out. Ready.
Did we have any invader stuff going on? I don't think so. Well, the reconquest of Borneo seems to be going swimmingly so far. Pretty improved heavy batteries. Some pretty large navies sailing around. Some pretty large navies being sunk. Let's actually just double check how these guys are doing in terms of repairs. You could go and do some. You could. Ooh, you definitely could. Good. And then destroyers for replacements. We will go and stick you in the reserves.
Ready to move. Yes, sir.
Ace pilot promoted.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, so Auchinleck has now arrived with the jungle specialists. Is there a forest specialist? That was the tortoise. I'm not going to upgrade to the tank destroyer just yet. Naval upgrade. Still working on that. We could start working on the all or nothing cruiser armor. I like that idea. Go for it. Only 8 more days until the 1940 cruiser is done. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the 44s. I'm guessing naval technology goes beyond. No, naval tech stops at 44. Oh, okay. Integrated populace, less attrition, good. Research speed plus 5%, don't mind if I do. What is my research rate now? 78, so it'll be 83 after that. Have work tomorrow at 5 AM, so cycle repeats. Been up since 1 AM, it's now 6 PM. That's a long day. I can do late nights. Early mornings, no. Morning is my bedtime. Let's get the up-to-date cruiser, only 63 days. That'll also give us the biggest possible engine. That sounds good to me. Oh, of course, this is British. Oh, wait, is this Malayan? No, it is Malaysian. Damn. That's a lot of bombing. Is this my bombing or their bombing? This is everyone's bombing. That's their bombing. Okay, I need to position more heavy fighters over here. We have 2,000 jets. Okay, so apparently jets are really cheap. I'm amazed that I'm building as many of them as I am. what, I could also upgrade the... Because we're getting a lot of air experience, I can upgrade the heavy fighters for more range. It's the mosquitoes. And we're getting so many different types of aircraft now. Heavy fighter 44s, here we go. That would cost 900. That's a bit too expensive for me. 3,000 kilometers. Do it. It looks like we're going to be able to seize the whole of Borneo way easier than I expected.
Attention!
Are you the guys defending all of that? You are.
Orders!
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge you two together and I'm going to tell you to hold the whole of this as well. Then we'll need to do something about Sulawesi as well after this. So we are slowly but surely wrapping them up. How are we doing down here?
Orders!
97%. Oh, come on! Will I be getting jet tactical bombers as well? Yeah, I probably should. I do have 100 factories producing jets, you're not wrong. I probably have enough now. So we'll go down to 50. What am I short on? Nothing, really. Not at this stage. Artillery, perhaps. Modern tanks. You know what? I'm going to start building mechanized and modern tanks. And we're going to need a lot of mechanized. For the next phase of my plan. We need a lot more chromium too. Ah. But we can reduce our imports of several other resources. Making us completely independent on aluminium. Steel, not so much. There is now... Okay, now there's a shortage of steel throughout the world. I'll take what I can. That'll do.
Fall in!
And you need to have a separate order, which is just going to be all of you attacking this. Go. Dual purpose secondary batteries, cool. Alright, I'm going to start building a bunch more colonial garrisons as well, because we're going to need the troops defending this area. Now watching my manpower a little bit nervously. The advanced medium guns. We're actually researching this naval upgrade, these naval upgrades really quickly. Much quicker than I expected we would. We are crushing the Japanese. How's their navy looking? Phew, man. Down to 130 ships. We really are smashing them. My own navy is at 450. What about submarines? Don't really need them. Just use destroyers. You only need submarines if the enemy has more control of the ocean than you. If you control the oceans like I do, just use destroyers. Or better yet, use light cruisers, which is what I'm researching at the moment. I want to get a raiding light cruiser and a recon light cruiser. Did I see the Intel dev diary the other day? Yeah, I really like what they're doing with the Intel stuff. I do hope it's not going to overcomplicate the game too much, but I like the direction it's going. Other people may not be quite so positive about it, but I am. Because I still maintain that Man the Guns is one of the best expansions that Paradox has ever put out. I really like it. And it looks like La Resistance is going down the same kind of path. They're starting to add some real meat to the bones of this game now. Do I know of any mods that effectively deal with late game resource shortages, but are also not horrifically unbalanced? I gotta say, I like the way that Rota 56 is doing this. Where you can build steel mills and aluminium mills. And to make them properly efficient, you need to research upgrades, but there are not very many of them. And they do use up a factory slot still. So yeah, I like the way that this game's doing it, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised and pleased. $1948. Right, are there any other 46s that I need to get? Oh, yeah, there are. 10% more soft attack, especially for mechanized. Ooh, hello. Especially now that I'm going to start switching to mechanized infantry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, starting to take some attrition issues down here. But I think we'll be fine long term.
Ready to move.
Right, so that was the other thing I was trying to check, was whether there was a specialist unit for forests. It's the Jaeger, isn't it? Yeah. Forest, hills and marshes. Because I think we're actually out of the jungles now. Is there a terrain map mode? Okay, there's a fair amount of plains there, some forest down here, plains, hills, mountains. Fighting through the hills over here. There's a lot of forest. Yeah, we're out of the jungles. The jungles are down here. Damn. Okay. So, in other words, instead of jungle specialists, I need to get Jaegers. Then I think it's going to be Jaeger forces that we're going to be sending into China. Is this modern art history where the war dragged on? No, they've just extended the timeline. So if the war did extend this far in, they've added, like, Cold War technologies. It's a pretty good thing that I'm playing with that right now, because this war has dragged on. I don't think it's artificially done or anything, it's just a long war. Because it's just the Allies, there's no Soviets in this war. It's the Allies versus the Soviets and the Axis. Even though those latter two are not actually allied with each other. There we go, Borneo has been liberated. So what has happened to Japan? They have tons of manpower. They have lots of convoys, that's not the problem. I mean, they're going to be losing a lot of convoys. Oh, sank another battleship. Nice. Should probably check you for damage. Yeah, I thought you might be. And the more ports and things that we take in Indonesia, the faster these repairs and things are going to be. This fleet's still good enough to be out and about. Also, did I just see that you have a level 9 attack? Yep. Ouch. James Somerville is getting pretty good at this. Oh, and I can upgrade your destroyers as well. Lovely. Getting Lancer would be good as well. Would mean all the destroyers in his fleet are much more effective at hitting stuff with their torpedoes. I think I am going to take Lancer actually. I think that's better in a large fleet. Some of the Admiral skill tree is really good. Some of it is just awful. Alright, there we go. Done. Mission accomplished. Already protecting that area. I think part of it is just the Royal Navy suddenly decided to actually play against the Japanese and they have not been able to counter us. Why would destroyers be better than subs at chasing convoys? Because they have better surface detection. I think they're also faster. In fact, I'm fairly sure. Let's check that. Tier 4 submarine versus Tier 4 destroyer. 42 kilometers versus 23. Oh yeah, way faster. So the destroyers can just chase them down. The submarines kind of need to get lucky. Also, I never did upgrade torpedoes. Probably should. Let's do the light guns first, though. I've actually equipped my ships with those. So you need some specialized troops to go for those enemies in the forest, some Jaegers to go bomb the enemies. A sort of Jaeger bomb. Indeed, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we need lots and lots of Jaeger bombs. Still sinking German ships. They keep trying and they keep failing. Just give up. Africa has some potential for production. Oh, oil. Loads of it. Definitely need to upgrade those. That should keep you busy for a bit. And did we ever upgrade Trinidad? I think we did. Yes. Yes, we did. Did someone say Jaeger bombs? Hi, also supply with island hopping. Is that an issue I do anything about? Not really.
Orders!
I mean, my marines are already equipped to logistics companies, which reduces the amount of supply they require. You just kind of got to spread your units out enough. Like, we're fighting on the big island, so it doesn't matter so much. If I was fighting over these ones, which I have no intention of doing, then yeah, I would need to be a lot more careful about supply. Probably attacking each island with only a division or two. Do you have Invader yet? Nope. Do you have level 6 yet? 99%! Oh, so close! Come on, Dempsey. You need to get your new command.
Ready!